Unavailable. Unknown.
Hi everybody, it's Carolyn. I'm not sure if I introduced myself. I am a member of the system. I'm very close with Amber. When I was created, when Sam had tried to shut down everybody for the millionth time, and we lost track of Amber. And so then someone needed to be there to take care of Honey. So I came. I have probably one of the most objective views on Sam and her situation from a psychology point of view, because I'm like one of the newest people. So yeah, I have been trying to just be around and help Amber and just settle in and keep doing what we're doing. I try to keep the inner world nice and we try to build our house and keep everything organized. It seems like every time we settle ourselves in, Sam, knocks everything over again. So we'll see what we can do. But Amber has someone to share the responsibility of Chumley over here. I'm not Chumley. Oh, whoa. Yeah, you are Chumley. I love you, Carolyn. Love you, baby. Can I do a talk? In a few minutes. Okay. So, we've just been hanging out. We talked to a very nice system named the Chris's, and they have a lot of good things to say about empowerment and how to help yourselves as a system without therapy, without professionalism, and to make it really just a peer thing and not illness or anything related. So I like what they have to say. I'm going to put their website in the description of this video. They're the Chris's, and we met them through the conference, plural conference, that was going on a couple weeks ago. And we had put some of the stuff on Sam's computer, and she took a little look at it, and she kind of hasn't really done much since. She tried to approach Betty about it, her shamanistic friend, shaman, and she disagreed with what the Chris's said, and the Chris's disagree with what she said, and I don't even know. But, I don't know about the spirituality even less than she does, but all I want is for us to be connected and to be there for each other, and, it seemed like Sam was at least open to the idea of looking at things from a different point of view when she saw, what these people had to say. So I kind of wish her friend would have backed her up on that, especially if they're as close as she says they are. But we'll see. I'm not too concerned about it because we're here and we're going to stay here, and nothing's made us leave so far, and we're not planning on leaving, and we want to really help ourselves, and help take care of Sam and do the best for her, and do the best for Honey, because she's the baby. I'm the baby, oh whoa. Yes, oh whoa. So that was an interesting thing. Another interesting thing around here is poor Sam and this pill. So she was trying to, for the past 5 years, our body has done really good on ativan and Benadryl. And that's been just the med combination that's worked since she started going to Albany Care. And so that was great. But then Dr. Cleary put her on Seroquel for her psychotic symptoms, which, by the way, I think she does have, or she has something going on that's different from us. Like, there's us, and then there's this other stuff that she was sensing that's, like, outside of us. We don't sense it, and, like, we don't know what it is. Her hearing these voices and feeling these things touching her that aren't physically there. We don't have that experience, so we think maybe this is a separate, like, psychosis or some sort of other issue than us. So we are kind of glad that she did take the Seroquel. We're happy that it didn't make us go away. But anyway, so she got put on it, and it makes you very drowsy. So that's why he took off the Benadryl and the ativan. But then after about a month on that dose, or I think even less than a month, she was saying that the voices and stuff were mostly gone, but they were still kind of there. And so he said, I'm going to change you to a more potent form of this medication. And she was like, okay, great. But it actually wasn't a more potent form of that medication. It was another medication in the same drug class, which was Zyprexa. And Zyprexa doesn't make you drowsy. So she was realizing that, and she started to have anxiety and problems sleeping. Meanwhile, she is on her ativan for a PRN every 8 hours, if she needs it. Now, the thing around here is you can't just go up and ask for a PRN and get it, even though your doctor prescribed it. What they do first is they call a social worker, any random social worker. Not that you really get to know anyone, because they're so stupid around here with how they treat people and robotic people they act like. So, it's not like you have a relationship to draw on. So they they call the social workers, and the social worker comes down and is supposed to talk to you, and you basically have to tell them what's going on, why you need the PRN, and you basically have to justify it, and they have to make sure you used your coping skills and all this crud, and then you can get the pill. And some social workers are better about it than others. Some are just like, okay, if you say you need it, you need it. I'll tell the nurse, And so, other social workers are harder to find, or they just don't get it, and so they kind of really discourage it, even though it's a medication that your psychiatrist prescribed. It should be like any medication. You should just be able to take it. And, it's like I said, it's not like they have that relationship with you where you can open up and say, where I feel like I could open up, we could open up and say what's going on. So, anyways, yeah. So I tired already. On Saturday night, hold on. On Saturday night, so the PRN. Yeah. One of the nurses, Annie, who's a really good nurse, said, because I was telling her about the sleeping problem, and I asked if she could call the doctor or something, and she's like, yeah, we can do that, but she said, you do have your ativan, and if that's what helped you sleep, you can take it, at night, at bedtime. And I said, oh yeah, that's right, I totally forgot I had the pill, because I hardly take it, because I don't want to go through the drama of trying to get a hold of a social worker and doing that whole crud. So I'm like, okay, great. So with her, I was taking it, and the rule technically is that you're supposed to call, and do that whole thing, but she wasn't. So anyway, so then Friday, she wasn't on Friday, so I tried to go the honest route, and I was like, hey, I told nursing at like 5 p.m. meds, I'm like, hey, I take this pill, I'm gonna need my ativan at 8 at night for my pill, for my, for bedtime. Bedtime, I do have anxiety, and it helps me sleep, because my anxiety keeps me up, I told them. And they're like, okay. So then, on Friday night, like I said, it took them forever to even know who was on. Like, literally, the front desk was like, unfortunately, like, you would ask nursing and be like, hey, like, what social workers are on? They're like, I don't know. If nursing and social work are supposed to be that integrated, that they are supposed to be there for if you need a pill, and they're supposed to be, ready for, on call to answer that call of needing the ativan, the PRN, they should know what social worker is on. Like, that's just a given. So that was screwy. They're like, we don't even know who's on. And then, so then I was sitting in there at the nurse's station at bedtime, and they finally called, the nurse, this one kind of bitchy nurse called the social worker. And it was a social worker I didn't even know. I barely knew her name. And I wasn't even talking to her. The nurse was on the phone talking to the social worker, and I was telling the nurse what the answers to the questions that the social worker was asking the nurse. And so the nurse was like, oh yeah, she says something about her racing thoughts or something. She has an accent. She sounds like that. And I was just like, whatever. So I bet she said yes to the pill. Saturday night, I asked again. I found a social worker. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this early. I want to do it early enough because when it gets to be 8 at night, it seems like they're not available. The social workers. I mean, they are. They're on until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, but they're always on break or sitting on that crisis unit, watching whoever unfortunate person has to be on that unit. Doing whatever, and they're not available. So I asked after dinner, I said the same thing. I said, I know I am going to need a PRN later, and this is why, and I talked to the social worker that I barely just knew her name. It was the same as that one on the phone, except it was a different one, and I didn't even really know her. I knew her by name, and that's it, I never had a full conversation with her. And so she's sitting there behind the desk, and, I was telling her, that I need it. And she's like, well, if you need a PRN, you need it now, not in 3 hours. I'm like, no, I'm saying that I'm going to need it because I know I have anxiety at night and it keeps me awake. And she's just like, oh, well, we don't really give PRNs for sleep, which is what the nurses were saying. It's like, well, no, it's for anxiety that prevents me from going to sleep. And that's why I was on this pill for 5 years. So, that's just, and she would not get that. And she's like, well, we also encourage people to use their coping skills. I was like, you know what? No. I was like, I will just stay up. I will just figure it out myself about going to sleep because I cannot stand here and have this conversation with you. You don't know. I didn't say all that, but I just said, I said, thank you for your help. And I was like in tears and I just walked off. I was like, whatever. I was like, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with someone flat voice, flat energy, flat everything who doesn't even care, and, you have to pour out your soul just to get the pill that the doctor prescribed anyway. I can see if, this is going to sound weird, but I can see if it was I don't even know. It's just so weird. And, I don't even know if the doctors know that that's how they do it. I'll have to tell them sometime. But anyways, so finally talked to Chris, director of nursing today, and he was like, so I was like, we were talking, and I said, he said he'd talk to Dr. Cleary, but then Annie was like, I'll just see if I can put you on the list for Dr. Cleary, which makes sense to me to talk to him and ask him. So I said, oh, Chris, I said, Annie said she's going to put me on the list. He says, oh, well, no, because you already saw Dr. Cleary this month. He'll refuse to see you. What do you mean he's going to refuse to see me? I'm on his list. No, he'll refuse to see you. I said, okay. He says, oh, but I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him and put you on melatonin. What the heck is melatonin? Viewers, audience participation. Melatonin? Thoughts? Is it like Benadryl? I don't know. I can't believe all these names, all these different names of these different pills. All I said to him was, why can't I have my ativan just scheduled? All he has to do is put, scheduled, put the med as scheduled. Because I had it as PRN and as scheduled. It's not that hard. But apparently it is, because they're turning it into this huge issue. So he was like, well, you're not on ativan. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm on it as PRN. All he has to, and he was like, well, we're going to do the melatonin. That's what's going to be what we're going to do. I'm like, okay. So we're going to do the melatonin, see what that does. And so I'll tell Annie. Then when I see her at med time, hopefully she'll give me the PRN tonight. Tomorrow's going to be crazy because tomorrow, annually, it's good that they do this, but it's just going to be a pain in the butt for us. They do pest control, so they're going to go into all these rooms and do pest control spraying. So for Jessie, that means getting her cat into a different room for a few hours, which should be lovely. He's at least better about being picked up than Aster was. I'm so glad this didn't happen when he was here. So we're gonna do that. We have to pack everything up, move stuff away from the wall so it doesn't get crud on it. We're going to change my bed, which we need to do anyways. We're going to do all sorts of stuff to get ready for that. And then we're going to have to be out of the room from 8:30 until 1 in the afternoon. So that should be great. I won't have a nap, and I'll just have to be anxious and doing all that stuff. And then at some point, Jesse's going to go to the bank to take out $20 for rides. And then on Wednesday, we will go to Trilogy. Yay! And start the paperwork process. So that'll be good to get that going. So, that's about it. And I will tell everybody what happened tomorrow. Like I said, it's so stupid that he will refuse to see me, apparently, but he will talk to Chris about me. First of all, if my chart isn't even down there, which they pull your charts, so that they're with the doctor, my chart is in nursing, then how is he going to know, like, what the heck patient he's even talking about? Second of all, how is it okay that, like, the doctor will talk to Chris about me, but I can't be there? I know. It's just so screwy. And why is it so hard to frickin' schedule a pill? It's ridiculous to me. But anyways, the ins and outs of a place like this, I'm telling you. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
My movie. Web, stop.